Hey y'all, this is Toya. You tuned in to Healthy Talks and Walks with Toya. Well, we are generational curse breakers that are growing in the uncomfortable. Hey y'all, so we're gonna move on. I could do another one on self-awareness, but I don't want to drag it out for too long or whatever. But so we're gonna move on to self-work. Self-work. Okay, so on this journey to healing, once you find out what you got, what you're working with, by being self-aware about what you got going on, right? Now it's time to do the work. And I'm gonna tell you, self-work can be tough. Self-work is just, it is what it is. And work sometimes ain't easy, right? But on the other end of that, you get healing and growth and all of those things, right? So some self-work that I've done, counseling. Right? Counseling is a tremendous help. If you got the right counselor, make sure that you got the right fit. I remember one time, one of my old counselors left and I was trying to find a new one. And this one lady I met, every time I left her, I only met her twice, but the two times I met her after I left, I felt like worse than I did before I talked to her. So that wasn't a good fit. And I knew that. So then I went ahead and was just like, nah. But the lady I am with now, we were really good, make a good fit and all of that. So some of self-work is, accountability. That's really huge on this healing journey and just healing in general, right? You have to have accountability. So part of that, I was recently talking to someone and they said, it's tough when you find out that people mean so much to you, but you don't mean much to them. And I told her, I said, well, to be honest with you, it's so sad to say, but I'm very familiar with that, right? I'm very familiar with that or whatever. I said, but on this journey to healing, I had to realize that I had a part to play in that. We have a part to play in that, right? Again, accountability. So self-work says, okay, yeah, they were wrong for what they did, but what about you accepted that? That's what self-work does. It asks those hard questions. And I call them hard heart questions, HARD/HEART, hard heart questions. What about you accepted them treating you that way? So, and then you go a step further and you deal with what is it about you that allowed that to happen, right? If you don't value yourself, you can't expect others to, right? If you, and being around those kind of people, like sometimes you try to make a demand on the relationship and you try to say, hey, well, I need you to respect me or, have a healthy boundary, this and that or whatever. And then those people leave. And so then sometimes, people kind of regress into making themselves almost like I said in the previous poem. Okay, I'm not that person anymore, but to where I felt like I made myself almost a doormat just to have folks around, right? Because I felt like it would prove something, that I was a good person and all of this stuff. It'll prove that I'm worth being in a relationship with and all of that. But when I realized that Jesus had already proved me on the cross, and when I realized that I don't have to make less of myself in order to be in healthy relationships with people, then I can make that demand on the relationship and these people decide to leave, then these aren't people I need to be in relationship with. And trust that God will send people that will honor me, value me, and they're going to treat me well, right? And I'm going to treat them well. Another thing I've learned on this journey to healing, especially in self-work, is a lot of times people are expecting things out of people that they're not really willing to give. So I would say start there as well. Don't be expecting stuff out of people that you ain't willing to give them. Folks want you to tell them all your stuff, but then they're going to tell you a needle drop of theirs. No, that's not healthy. It needs to be a reciprocated relationship, right? Self-work talks about it gets to the nitty-gritty of that, right? Am I giving more than what I'm receiving back? And it's not about like, in a selfish way of like, just, I don't know, it's not a selfish way. It's basically, am I showing up? Am I crossing oceans and this person won't cross a puddle for me? Self-work makes you confront that answer, that question, right? And then dig deep on, depending on how you answer, it's up to you. Where you start is where you start. It doesn't mean that you have to stay there, which is why when I did this poem recently about uncuffing from rejection, I cried and grieved for the girl that I was, the fact that I was ever there. But that's where I was. That's not where I'm at now, right? So a lot of the times when we have these hard heart questions, right, we get sad about the reality of it, or we don't want to answer it truthfully. But you cannot heal from what you won't reveal. Again, that goes back to healthy self-awareness. You cannot address something that you're not even aware needs to be addressed. So self-work is going to dig into those hard heart questions, have you ask those questions, but then also to answer them, and then confront it, and then make the changes. So this is self-work part 1. We're going to do a part 2, maybe 3. I don't know. We're going to see. And then we'll go into emotional intelligence. This is Toya. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share, because it may bless somebody else. Peace.